I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Hey guys, this is Andrew. Today I'm going to start a YouTube channel. The name's going to be Drew Works. Today's just going to be like a little bit of a walk around, kind of let you know a little bit about myself and a little bit about what I like. As for now, I only have two cars. One is a fun car and one is a daily, and hopefully looking to buy another one over the winter as a fun project car. So I'd like to know you guys' ideas. So as my daily, I have a 2004 Dodge Stratus RT Coupe. If you're not very familiar with this platform, it's actually pretty much a third generation Eclipse, the pretty much hated or second most hated Eclipse, with the same frame and motor and everything as the GT model. So here's a little bit around the car. So there she is. She used to look really nice. I used to have her all polished up, and I had actually taken the headlights apart, and these are actually blacked out on the inside, but Missouri sun fade has gotten back to them, and that was kind of my fault. It was my first time ever doing that, and I didn't re-clear over them, so that was kind of my fault. Switch over to a wide angle here. It's this side of the car is pretty decent. I haven't done anything. I always wanted to lower it and put wheel spacers on it, and I just at the time never had money for it. This is the fun car, but we'll get to that here in a minute. On the inside is a standard Eclipse insert, except for it's just Dodge and it says RT. It's not too bad. The dash always warps on these. You honestly can't find one without it. I had upgraded to leather seats in the front, but could never find the rears. But I don't ever sit back there. The only thing that ever goes back there is my dog. Other than that, like I said, it has the exhaust and the other thing. But this side of the car is where things get a little bit more interesting. Last year or earlier this year, somebody hit me, and I actually had to replace this door with a silver door, and then I repainted it. And I repainted it in this garage when I first got the house, but I didn't have any lights in here. And so as I was painting, the clear coat, I don't know if you guys can see that, really started to run in a couple spots, and the paint color doesn't match very well because I did it with spray paint cans. But it's not really that big of a deal to me. Like I said, I'm keeping it as a winter beater at this point. As for the driver's side, like I said, this panel got knocked off. I had to bang this out with a hammer just to get the door to close. You can see right there, there's some of the silver. I painted most of the inside so you didn't see it, but the inside's pretty good. Today we might do an oil change. Yeah, it's got 162,000 on it right now. It's pretty rough these days. I bought it about 4 years ago, and I've actually had 3 of these cars just because I learned a lot about how to work on them. That's kind of the first car I ever learned how to work on. All in all, it's a pretty decent car. It's got an exhaust, an intake, and I think that's about it. It's just kind of kept as a daily, and it's kind of covered in so much rust at this point that it's just going to be left the way it is. If we go ahead and pop the hood, I'll show you under here. It's nothing immaculate, that's for sure. It's pretty disgusting. This car has been, I wouldn't say neglected, but I drive it pretty aggressively for what it is. And it's got a really cheap intake on it. And so this is a 3.0 liter V6 that makes approximately 200 horsepower, or at least it used to. I've replaced a lot of things under here just because it's an older car and these aren't the most reliable. But the reason this car won't ever be fixed again, really to a nice standard, is because, as you can see here, this is a very common problem on these cars. And then if you look back here, the shock tower itself is rusting to pieces, along with the same thing on the other side. And that's actually not the worst of it. Behind the wheels on both sides, it is eating through the frame, and at this point I don't think it's savable, and it's not worth being saved. I can buy another one in decent condition for for about $2,000. But if you guys would like to see something on this car or about what this car is, or maybe me buy another one and do it instead of a standard Eclipse. I've never actually seen anybody really do anything with these. I know there are guys out there that that have done things with these cars, but they are all pretty low key. I know you can put in a fourth generation Eclipse motor, which is a 3.8 liter instead of the 3.0, and it's a relatively easy swap, but I just haven't had the resources or time. But maybe if this goes a little bit better, I can jump into some bigger projects like that. But as for now, we're sticking with this, and then maybe I'll find a decent example of one of these, and we'll do it. So my other car is a 2010 370Z. I bought this a little bit more than a year ago. It's a base model, and I know you guys are gonna hate this, but it's an automatic. And the reason I bought the automatic was because at the time I was doing a lot of city driving, and because the deal was so good that I really couldn't pass it up. The color is actually a pretty rare color. It's called black cherry. It's more like brown and pearl red at the same time. Also a little bit of black, but it just got put away for the winter, mainly because we are calling for snow on Monday of this upcoming week, which for you guys might be a little bit or later or sooner. But I live in Missouri, so it's kind of up and down. Like today it was 50, and 2 days from now it's supposed to be 20. So as soon as salt hits the road, salt and snow kind of turns this car into a little bit of a crappy driver. But the main reason for that is because it's a little bit more decked out than it was when I bought it, and I'll throw up some pictures of what it used to look like when I bought it, and then I'll throw up a couple pictures of what I did to it throughout the process. And I wish I would have filmed a lot of it, because it would have all been cool stuff to film for you guys. But there are upcoming mods for this car that I plan on doing, and I will fill you guys in on what all those are later on. Alright guys, well today we're going to go ahead and do an oil change on the good old Stratus. We're going to hopefully see that it's not that bad. This car, with as many miles as it gets on it and how hard I drive it, it loses about probably half the dipstick about every 1,500 miles. I do about 3,000 mile oil changes on it, just because I'm trying to keep it alive through the winter. I also got to look into a little bit of a starter issue. I replaced it last year, and it's already starting to kind of seize up on me after I go for a drive. So I'm thinking there might be a little bit of oil built up on it, or some corrosion or something. So we're going to check that out, make sure that's okay. Alright, so let's get started. First fun thing is I put this lip on here probably about 4 years ago, thinking it looks cool. It pretty much scrapes every time I go up these ramps, and I know I could just jack it up, but that is one of the things I currently don't have. I have a really small, like, a 2-ton jack that's really not meant for jacking up cars that much, and it's actually leaking fluid because I've done too much work with it. So we're just going to go ahead and drive up on these ramps and jump underneath here. Yeah, that's not too fun without a spotter, and hopefully my wife will be joining me to help me kind of hold the camera and stuff a little bit. So here we are. So this car has a couple stupid things when you're changing the oil. So like you've got your oil filter right here, and don't mind the gunk. Like I said, this car has been through quite a bit. The leaks are caused from the valve cover gaskets, which I replaced about 2 years ago, and then they blew back out about a year ago, and I just kind of gave up on it because it doesn't lose enough oil to where I care, and I watch it enough to not have to worry about it. I've bottomed out the oil pan a couple times. So back to the filter thing here. So when you pull off the filter, you can see the header coming off of the front bank here. It actually drips oil all over the header and all over this O2 sensor the moment you take it off. The only problem with that is that it ends up throwing O2 codes for like a week. So I actually take a plastic bag and I toss it over this so it doesn't get disgusting. And then you can kind of get a look from underneath the car. So like the exhaust is nothing fancy. It's got just this small flex pipe section here, and then it goes back to one large resonator underneath my seat. And then it used to be straight piped, but it was a little too obnoxious as a daily driver. So I decided to throw a Flowmaster Super 44 on the back. And it sounds decent. I'll take you guys for a little bit of a ride later, kind of let you hear what it sounds like. The first time trying to film and do this, let's see if I can manage to get this thing off while you guys are watching. So far, not a good start. Not too bad. Let's see if I can make a mess. Plus the oil's pretty hot. I literally just got home from work. If you guys care what I do for a living, I actually work in apartment maintenance at an apartment complex. I do a lot of painting, so if you guys ever see me and I'm just disgusting, that would be why. It's not my ideal job. Eventually, I actually have my degree in IT, but the world kind of threw me for a loop this year. I graduated in December of this year. I kind of took a little bit of a break because I was doing full-time work and full-time school for 4 years straight, and decided to wait till March. And I started looking for a job, and that's when COVID hit. And so I just kind of stuck it out with my job. I've been there for actually like 6 years, and I'm only 23, so hoping to move on eventually, or maybe this will become a thing. I really like working on cars. Always have. And I got a lot of buddies around here that like working on cars. I'm actually part of a couple different groups that we go on cruises every once in a while. Maybe I'll throw up a quick video from one of our cruises or one of my groups right here. Yeah, so we'll let this drain and I'll come back and we'll take this filter off. I gotta go grab a plastic bag to cover up that O2 sensor like I said. Alright, let's find this drain plug here without making a giant mess of myself and thread it back on. Alright, I'm gonna give all these YouTube guys props because it's hard to do things when you're trying to hold the camera. And if the quality is not the best, guys, I am filming this just from a phone for now. Me and my wife were talking about purchasing a nicer camera. If you guys don't like the quality, maybe subscribe and maybe like and stuff, so maybe we can afford a new camera. And we're brand new. This is like gonna be my very first video, and I might break it up into 2 videos. Oh, see, we're making a mess here because I'm talking to people. Which is why I put this little thing down, because I kind of knew it was going to be a problem. As you can see, that oil goes right there. All right, hold on. I'll flash this over the little battery. Okay, well, as you can see there, it's kind of going all over that bag, and that's where that O2 sensor is. So we're going to go ahead and get this off, and we'll get back to you so I can clean myself up. So, a question for you guys: when you do oil filters, do you pre-fill? I know it's kind of a slightly debated topic, and I'm kind of curious on what everyone thinks. On this car, I always have, just because the filter goes in the downward position anyways, so I can pre-fill it. But on my Z, it actually goes on the side of the block, so pre-filling it is kind of not gonna happen. I can like half fill it and try to get it up there, but it always makes a mess, so I just stopped trying to pre-fill it. But on this car, I always have. I just don't like the idea of it, I guess you would call it like dry firing, but we're putting the filter on now, and we're tightening up this drain plug. You know, none of this needs to be too tight, and then we can go ahead and throw some oil back in this guy. Oh gosh, my video quality is probably terrible. Oh, okay, come back up to the top, and for this car, we buy whatever's on sale. Because, like I said, it's just a matter of time. Let me put this light up here, see if we can shed some light on the situation. Okay, that doesn't stick to anything. Awesome. We'll put that there. Let me go find, we'll find some funnels. I know we got some around here somewhere. Let's see. That's, yeah. Alright, so. Alright guys, I think the first thing I might do with this new channel is maybe just buy a tripod. Because trying to film all this stuff with your hands is a little difficult. Go ahead and throw that on there. This car takes 4.8 quarts. So we're just gonna splooge it on. Splooge it in until it, you know, till it's full. So we'll get back to you guys. And yeah, I'm not a master pourer, so yeah, I'm gonna use a funnel because I don't like to smell this oil any more than I have to. This car already burns oil and isn't the most fun to smell. So let's go ahead and start this. Alright. There we go. You guys can hear a little bit of the exhaust. It's not too bad. It's a little rumbly. It's a little droney on the highway, but nothing too bad. We're gonna go ahead and let this run. We'll pull it down off the ramps, and then we will we'll get back to it. Alright guys, it's the end of the night, and I gotta go drop off all this oil. I've actually got about 4 oil changes worth of oil from doing my wife's car and the Z and the Stratus over the year. But I gotta go pick up some pizza for my wife. I'll do a little bit of driving with the car and let you guys hear the exhaust a little bit. And then I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully in the next video I've got something for the Z. We'll bust it out and we'll do a couple little drive-bys with the exhaust and everything, kind of let you guys know the plan for that car. But for now, I will see you guys later. Alright guys, it's a little droney in here, but we'll see if we can get a little bit of a sound. We'll drop it into second. It's pretty peppy, nothing crazy. We'll see if we can roll the windows down. You guys definitely can't see me now, I'm on a back road, but we'll go ahead and roll the windows down. See if we can get a little bit of a sound quality test here. That's second, and pop it in first. So that sounds pretty good on my end. I doubt you guys can hear it that well, but I'll post these videos up with the rest of the Stratus stuff, and I really hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna cruise around for a little bit before my wife gets home, and I actually just forgot that I forgot to get pizza, so I gotta turn back around. Alright guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. It's getting a little dark out here, so I wanted to, film a little bit of the thing kind of with the sun going down and all that, with the Stratus kind of chilling in the background and the Z. So yeah, the channel's name is Drew Works, and I'm trying to think of a slogan. My wife's kind of been helping me. She actually came up with this one, and I kind of want to know what you guys think. But this is Andrew from Drew Works. Always make the dream work.